What is up, Edison duelists? This is Dionysus, aka Young Puds, coming at you guys with some more shameless hype beast GIGAVISE content. Well, folks, yesterday we tried out this variant of the deck, and we went 1-1, but we lost to the only real deck we faced off against. So let's see if we can make a few changes to the deck, refine it a little, and then come back leaner, meaner, and ready for action. So what do we want to change? First of all, 7 Tools of the Bandit has got to go. I think, what we're really trying to accomplish here is show off Damage Condenser, Ultimate Offering, and UFO Turtle. Those are the stars of the show. So I'm also going to go ahead and cut that trap stun. What are we going to add in? We're going to add a couple things. First of all, I'm thinking that we are going to want to be playing a little bit of Forbidden Chalice. I think Forbidden Chalice is going to be, oh, the rest are in the side deck. Haha, whoops. Forbidden Chalice is going to be a great way to help push through our UFO Turtles. What else do we want to play here? I know I talked about wanting a Dandylion yesterday, but I don't know if that is what we do want to do. What I actually think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play the third Gigaplant. Here's why, folks. These cards like Damage Condenser and UFO Turtle, those are getting us to our Lone Fire Blossom. So in this build, we're pretty rarely going to be going Lone Fire for Lone Fire. Usually we're going to leave another Lone Fire in deck. And in those cases, I want to make sure I have Gigaplant access. This also means that Lone Fire into Gigaplant can get us a nice 8,000 damage with Ultimate Offering and nothing else in a vacuum a little more easily. So that's how we're going to try out playing the deck today. Let's adjust the side deck because we do have some extra space. 3 Lightning Vortex seems like a little bit much. What shall we play instead? I want Decree, just in case we run into any kind of silly chain burn type decks. Big believer in Decree. And you know what sounds fun to me? You know what sounds fun to me, guys? I think I want to play the Glad package. That just seems really fun. Just seems fun. What could I say? So we're going to go ahead and put the Glad package in. We'll just side the Gazaris. We'll just slot it in if we need to. Yeah, this looks fun. Let's do this today. So we'll hop on ladder and let's see if we can actually resolve our Damage Condenser or our UFO Turtle this time. Coming in hot, we're going to be facing off our opponent IMA 5. Powerful opponent, most likely. 651 at time of recording. That's at least in top 50, somewhere around there. I'm sitting at 40th on the ladder on my main account at 669, so 651 is probably pretty good. And speaking of pretty good, this hand looks absolutely fantastic. Let's set the decon, let's set the trap dust shoot, and let's pass the turn. So we'll, of course, be firing the trap dust shoot in the standby phase. Let's see what we're up against today. It's going to be Blackwings. They are singing in the dead of night. So let's put back Blizzard. That seems good. And then we have Bora Bora. Isn't that a place that you can visit? I've heard of that. I think in like Pulp Fiction, the girl with the accent is talking about how they could go to Bora Bora, Bruce Willis's girlfriend with the blueberry pancakes. And yeah, Pulp Fiction, what a good movie. I remember it was my 15th birthday and I had a couple close friends, we were hanging out playing probably it was Halo Reach Forge mode all night. Just having a good time, and then it was like things were kind of winding down. It was maybe like 2 or 3 a.m. and we were like, well, I'm kind of tired of video games, but let's not go to sleep. I was supposed to use Damage Condenser there. Last thing I did is take the damage. Okay, so I still have time. That's good. What can I say? Shameless, right? And anyways, and so we decided to put on Pulp Fiction. It was on Netflix at the time, and we were like, yeah, I've heard of Pulp Fiction. I think like everyone had heard a Pulp Fiction reference in something, but none of us had seen it yet. And all I can say, guys, I mean, Pulp Fiction is a good movie. It's legitimately a very good movie, but like when you're 15, that movie is going to blow your mind. It's going to be the coolest thing you've ever seen, start to finish. It was so engaging. It, you know, and we must have started it a little later because I remember like the sun was rising, you know, as we were finishing the movie, and it was like, man, like that was a heck of a movie. You know what I mean? Here, what do we do? Do we go? All right, here we are going to go through the second Lone Fire, and then we're going to go for Gigaplant, and because it's Mirror Force and Yada. So all we really have to do is with a Stardust, and I think we can still get game doing. Oh yeah, because we still have our normal summon. This is going to be fantastic. So we're going to do one Power Tool Dragon. Oh wait. I think we don't even need our normal summon, right? Because we can go Black Rose Dragon, nuke the field, Gigaplant comes back, equip Supervise, summon Lone Fire Blossom, Lone Fire Tribute Gigaplant, summon another Gigaplant, Supervise brings Gigaplant back, normal summon Gigaplant, summon Titanial from hand. He's lagging. But yeah, Pulp Fiction. What a good movie. What a classic. I haven't watched it in years, but I'll always remember that, you know. And like, I don't know, there's something about like, you know, the sun coming up, like as we finish the movie, you know, and like they're at breakfast, and you know the diner scene, and man, folks, the diner scene is so, like, the first time you see that movie, I'm assuming everyone's seen it. I'm sorry about spoilers. If you have not seen Pulp Fiction, go back and watch it right now, and then come and finish this video. But yeah, the diner scene, when like you realize they're in the diner, and then like it dawns on you, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the diner from the opening credits, and you realize what's about to go down, and it's just very, very cool. Yeah, Damage Condenser giving us that free Lone Fire. That felt pretty good. Did you draw into Jors, the Gemissary of Jarkness? Are you a Jors, the Gemissary of Jarkness, Haber? You are not. He did not have Jors, the Gemissary of Jarkness. Okay, so we want, this is Blackwings. What do we side out? UFO Turtle seems not so good. We can side out one Gigaplant. Chalice seems kind of bad. Those can come out too. I don't know, is that good? Let's try that. Let's try this. Yeah, folks. There's something else I wanted to talk about today while we're kind of waiting here. I saw a comment on yesterday's video, and I do apologize. I forget who it was from. And, you know, they were responding to me yapping about climates and everything, and they said that they preferred living in hot climates, and that they really had their eye on moving to Las Vegas, and that seemed like something that they wanted to do. And they said they just need to stop being depressed and save up a little bit of money. And this is actually something that like I can really relate to. So while we're comboing here, I'll go ahead and talk about that if you guys don't mind. Oh no, I sided out the third Gigaplant. That's just like terrible, and we don't even have like Dandy to establish field presence. Dude, yikes. Whatever. Lone Fire for Nettles. Just swing. That's a little bit of an oopsie moment. But you know, I've definitely dealt with some mental health issues in the past, and but more specifically, kind of about like taking a big leap to move somewhere. And I'm a really, really big believer in that. So when I was 21, I had just turned 21. I was running a summer camp, and I had I had done it the previous summer, and I wasn't really keen on coming back, do it again the next summer, but I still worked at the pool where the summer camp was. It was like, this isn't like a sleepaway camp, it's a day camp. Keep in mind, you know, they let a 20-year-old be in charge of it. And wow, this is really bad. So anyways, but they hadn't hired a new director, and it was getting to the point where I was like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, there's not gonna be anyone to run the camp. It's like, it's already June. Camp, like, you're gonna have campers here in 2 weeks. Nothing's been done. Like, what are we doing here? And I don't know if that was their scheme to get me to come back or what, but I did decide to go ahead and come back for one more season, and so they hired me back. I was camp director again. I got camp up and running, but then I had all these problems with my bosses trying to basically I'll simplify it. I wanted the camp to be about like, let's like think about the long term, like let's try and make it a really really good experience for everyone, you know. And my boss was like, let's try and, you know, get every single dollar we can and, like, you know, double the amount of campers we had. And um it was just like too much of a conflict, and I was like, I'm not going to, you know, like deliver a bad product so you can make more money to pay for a renovation, you know, like we're just not going to do that. So uh I started looking for an out, and what ended up happening is at the same time I was my lease was up, so I needed a new place, and rent was really really expensive where I lived. And I said to my roommate, I said, hey, what if we moved to New England? Like, what if we just did it? You know, we just up and moved to New England. And maybe he thought I was joking or something, but he was like, oh yeah, totally. And I was like, okay, cool. So I found a job in New England, and I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have a ton saved up, but I had enough money to get there, and I had employment once I got there. So I knew, I was like, okay, like that's the basics. I'm gonna be able to find a place to live. I'll be able to figure it out, and that's what I did. And it was definitely a leap. You know, I had to say goodbye to a lot of friends. It helped that I had a friend coming with me, but you know, all it took was just having the just that little push, and you know, to be a little obnoxious here too. You know what else I had, folks? I had the spirit of adventure. I had like, I was like, this is like, let's do something with my life, you know. And uh it was amazing. It was amazing. Just like being in a new place really really helped me. It helped me shake off a lot of bad habits. You know, a lot of the problems that I still had, I still faced, but just being in a new place I found to be really really helpful, just to kind of give me like a second shot at addressing all these problems. And you know, and it ended up working out really really well. You know, being up in New England, I ended up, I've always like loved the outdoors, but that's when I got really really into hiking. And I guess we just break or pop the oppression. I got really, really into hiking, and then that led to deciding to do the Appalachian Trail through hike, and that was an amazing experience. Really, really, you know, super influential for me. And then, you know, and then of course after that, I wanted to come back to New England. My friend that moved up here with me, they decided to you know, to move back to our hometown, and that was cool. Because I, you know, I knew some people. I had a job to go back to here in New England. And you know, fast forward a couple years, and now I've got a family, and a nice home, and a really nice life. And all of it really can be traced back to just taking the chance to just go, you know, like just saying like, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't have all the answers, you know, shoot, I don't have a place to live. I was living in motels. I was like haggling with like mom and pop motels, like, hey, you know, like, and I get a weekly rate. And they're like, well, you know, it's busy, it's the tourist season. And I'm like, okay, but like, you have a lot of tourists on a Wednesday? And they're like, well, we might. And I was like, come on, you know, like, work with me. And I finally found a place that was able to help me out like that. Look at that. What a good draw, folks. Um, okay, how do we play this? Do we go? So that's a real armor master. That's important to note. I think we want to go for like just like a bunch of power tools. Yeah. Set. Ultimate offering. Gigaplant. Supervise. That's 500. Supervise gets us to copy plant. This is going to get us to power tool dragon. Oh, we only have 2 power tools. That's good to know. Power tool is going to, no, not to grave. Power tool is going to activate. We'll use power tool dragon. reveal 2 supervises and a mark of the rose. So yeah, folks, I know that was kind of a rambly story, but like really the point that I'm trying to make is like just go. Just go. Like figure out like like what you need. Like I'm not saying like put yourself in a bad position, but like if you can get there, like maybe you're not going to be able to get there the most comfortable way, or maybe, you can, you think, okay, well, I still need this, this, and this, but and I think this is true in not just like, okay, moving to a new town, but like really like a lot of things. Sometimes like you just have to take the leap. You just have to go. I think another really good example of this is having children. There's a lot of couples and they want to say, well, we want kids, but now's not a good time because of X, Y, and Z, because of this, because of that. And, the truth is, like, there's never going to be a great time. And I mean, again, it's not just like having kids. It's not just making a big move. It's like any of these like really big things that you do in life, that, the things that you can look back on and say like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. These are the things that like you really have to you just have to go. You just have to take the leap, and you just have to do it. So here we go, Gigaplant for another 500, and then we go Lone Fire for Gigaplant for another 500, and we bring out another Lone Fire, and then we use that one, get us Nettles, and then we go 8 for Red Dragon Archfiend, and then we go Mark of the Rose, banish the Gigaplant, steal your Shura, and if only you'd put the Armor Master in attack position. Just kidding, I think you still lose to that. GG. GG, well played. Nice. Nice one. Ultimate Offering seems pretty good there. Not gonna lie, folks. That was a good card. So Damage Condenser, also a really good card. That was pretty crazy there. We got Damage Condenser off, we got Ultimate Offering off. We yapped a little bit about taking chances and going for it in life, because like really that's what life is all about. Like you don't look back and like fondly on your memories of when you kept doing the same thing, you kept working your job, even if it's a job you like, if it's a job you hate, whatever. Like you don't, maybe you might look back in general like, oh, that was a good time, but like the times that like you can really look back on and say like, wow, like this is really, really important, and this is really, really great. Those are the times where you took a chance, where you went for it, where you found your way. And I think also, things never are going to work out exactly how you think they're going to work out. I love seeing Turtle Chalice, but a lot of times they're going to work out in a really different way that's still really cool, or they're still going to work out for the best. Or if not the best, like they're still going to work out okay. And I think, the more chances you take in life, the more leaps, that kind of thing, the more times you go for it and then things work out okay, like that's going to give you this confidence. There's Bobby Fischer. You guys know who Bobby Fischer is? Maybe the best chess player of all time. Really interesting guy. Kind of a tragic tale. He said that, and this is one of my favorite quotes, and this is really something that I try and live by. He said, psychologically, you have to have confidence about yourself, and this confidence must be based in fact, right? So he identifies that like, okay, yeah, you can't just like, we've all heard the phrase, oh, just be confident, bro. Oh, just be confident. Like what do you do? Oh, you just be confident. Well, it's not as simple as just being confident. You have to have that confidence be based in fact, because if the confidence is based in fact, then like for a fact, it's like, yes, like I can do this. I got this. You know what I mean? Bottomless. Bottomless has been dealt with, so now we use... we have a way into... we still have our normal summon. Sorry, folks, just thinking for a second. Anyways, but you want to have your confidence, and I think a lot of, like, at least for me, when I dealt with depression or anxiety, I think it's because I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I didn't have a lot of confidence because I didn't have facts that I could draw on that made me feel confident, if that makes sense. You know, I felt like, you know, like I wasn't sure of myself, and part of that is just being young. You know, I think part of that is, and I'm not old. I'm in my late 20s. You know, but part of being a teenager, being in your early 20s, is not having confidence based in facts. But if you're living your life to develop these facts that you can be confident in, I think you're setting yourself up for success. Sorry, folks. Let's make a decision here. I think we want to go for Mark of the Rose, banish the Lone Fire, take your card Trooper, and then what do we like here? We had Dandylion deck, we could try and mill, but there's really nothing worth milling. We could go, man, just like we don't have quite enough for game anywhere. Okay, I like this. I like this. We'll do it like this. Bring out Gigaplant, and then we'll normal summon the Gigaplant, and we'll use effect, and we'll bring out Lone Fire Blossom. And I'm not gonna mill because I don't want to mill, but we're gonna swing for 400, and we're going to swing for 500. Probably didn't need to use this Mark of the Rose, but maybe this is going to be, just 400. Maybe this is going to throw him off the scent of the second Mark of the Rose, because what I want to do here is I want to make a Power Tool Dragon. I want to make a Power Tool Dragon and get, Jors. Jors, the Gemissary of Darkness. We don't like to see that. That complicates things. Anyways, this is still fine. This is still fine. I'm still gonna do the same thing. I'm still going to do the exact same thing. And then he's going to attack into our Power Tool Dragon, and we're going to blow him out with Chalice, because he's going to attack into it with the token first. And then we're going to Mark of the Rose to steal something, and then Gigaplant for the win. That's the plan here, folks. That's the plan. Alright, so he's going to use the Card Trooper. Big surprise there. Use the Rhoda. I blinked. What did he get off of Rhoda? He got Greffer. Okay. Alright. This is still fine. Bad mills here. 2 darks, 4 darks total, so no dad. No dad to be concerned about. Bro has no dad. Bro has no dad. Remember when they put dad at 2 in like Shadal format? That was crazy. I think like one of the reasons, I talk about this a few times, the October 2014 format. So this is before Clifford's came out. This is before Burning Abyss got like the tuner and Virgil and everything. So you had first wave of Burning Abyss. You had like all the Duelist Alliance decks, but Soul Charge was put down to 1. Super Poly was put down to 1. So that like ridiculously overpowered Petrocobin should all list. You couldn't play that anymore, and you had to be a little more creative with it. Okay, so we're special summoning Greffer. Special summon Greffer. Yep, that's fine. And then he's going to use Greffer's effect. My. Bro is... He sends Necroguard up. Perfect. If he sent Plague, I would be a little concerned. But yeah, look at this. Now we're going to get... I think that's gone. Oh no! Oh no! He had BrainCon. He had BrainCon, folks. That's unfortunate. That's going to be game. That's going to be game. All right. GG. GG game 1. Let's run it back. Breakers. I don't know. Crow. Mark of the Rose. Seems good. Chalice can come out. Take out 1 turtle. Much stuff. Got 1 giga. Oh, that was enough. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. All right, here we go, folks. Here we go. So this, let's talk more about the Bobby Fischer confidence. You know, Bobby Fischer had confidence psychologically in himself because he knew that he could beat anyone at chess, and that was a fact. His life was lived as a development of facts, and I think that's also why something like weight training or just hiking, like climbing mountains, these type of activities are really, really important. I've heard this talked about in other places too, but like you want to have something to calibrate your brain about like what a difficult task actually is. Because if you're not doing anything that's like objectively difficult, your brain is going to think that the hardest thing that you have to do is, ah, man, yeah, that feels so bad to have to do. Your brain's going to think that the hardest thing you have to do is the most difficult thing in the world, you know? So if you work a desk job, and I know how this goes, like I'll have some like executive dysfunction sometime, and like I'll have trouble replying to an email, you know, and this is in times when I'm not doing the best job of taking care of myself, you know. Have to dust shoot now. I think that's a Ryko, and I'd love to let him flip the Ryko first, but just in case, he only has 4 cards left in hand, I want to dust shoot now. Can I see your hand, sir? Anyways, you know, so like replying to an email, if that's the hardest thing you have to do all day, that's going to be really hard. But you know, if you're going and you're squatting, you know, heavy, doing some heavy squats, something like that, or oh gosh, this is terrible for us. Put back 1 of the fossil dinos. Or you climb a mountain on the weekends, or you do a long bike ride, or you I don't know, you run a triathlon. Anything that's like objectively very, very difficult to do. If you're doing that at least semi-regularly, that's going to calibrate your brain, and the things that seem impossible aren't going to be as big of a deal. I think back to my biggest gym rat phase, you know, lifting 6 times a week. After every lift, we'll do an hour on the Stairmaster. You know, that was tough. That was exhausting. I mean, I would leave just absolutely like drenched in sweat, you know. I was working hard. There's no 2 ways about it. And despite that, you know, I always felt great. And I'd go to work, and I worked at a restaurant in the evenings, and that was super, super, you know, like if you've worked in a restaurant, you get it. And if you haven't worked in a restaurant, I'm going to say I think everyone should work in the service industry, at least for a little bit at some point in their lives, just so like you get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you just get it. And you know, like when you see people out to eat at restaurants that they're just behaving terribly, like you just know, it's like you've never had to work a garbage job, you know, and if you did, like you wouldn't be treating people like this. But I digress. You know, I think I'd go into this like very stressful restaurant. Everyone's losing their mind. You know, everyone's mad at each other. You know, everyone's sleeping with someone else, and it's a big, you know, constant drama web, all that stuff. You know, and it was just so easy for me to just be like, yeah, you know, oh well, like it is what it is. Okay, sure. You know, someone tries to get mad at me, and it was just like it just bounced right off. You know, it was just like it's not worth getting all wrapped up about it. And then I notice myself too when I'm not taking the time to climb a mountain, when I'm not, you know, lifting weights regularly, whatever it is, those are the times when like all the little things in life just really start to get to me more. And it's not like, you know, you can just do something once and then you're set. You have to keep at it, you know? Like life is it's a constant practice, you know? Ooh, look at this. We just got dunked on. All right, so we won against one of the bird decks, and we lost against another one of the bird decks. I do think that we showed off that this build has potential. I think maybe our side decking plan needs to be a little bit better. But let me know what you guys would change. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Join the Discord, link in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more shameless Hypebeast Gigavise content.